Hello and welcome. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how I painted this whole little cabin for about 150 bucks. It was, it took me 5 gallons to paint this cabin, and I paid $31 a gallon for paint. I got, I have a special account at Sherwin Williams, so I get a little bit of a discount. So 150 bucks for 5 gallons of paint, and as you can see, I did everything myself here. I did cut it in earlier, a day before the tongue and groove was put up that you see on the wall. By cutting in, you basically save yourself time because you don't have to be so precise with the roller. As you can see me basically kind of touching up all the smudge marks from when the guys left it when they were putting up the tongue and groove. But you don't have to use tape at all. So what you do is you cut in the corners. If you look on the corners of the walls and also where the wall meets the tongue and groove, I did that beforehand. So that way, when I'm ready to paint, I don't have to use painter's tape. And that speeds up the whole process quite significantly, actually. And it also saves you money from buying painter's tape and just wasting your time taping everything, try to be precise. And so this is just the little thing what I've learned doing this over the time. You can paint with the extender as I did a second ago, but to be honest, I actually like getting up close and personal with the wall. So I usually do it with just a roller, and as you can see, kind of my method here, just going straight up and down or sideways, depends what I'm painting. And I'm trying to keep if I'm painting up and down, which is usually the case, I try to keep that pattern throughout the whole house, even above those little pieces above the windows, if you saw me there for a second. And I paint behind the cabinets and even behind the pipes. That's just how my brain works and my OCD kicks in, and I try to paint as much of that as I can, and I just can't leave it alone. So go figure that one out. But that's what I do. So even the cabinets would hide all of that, I still paint behind there. So it's just how I'm wired, and it's just how I do things. So basically that's that. So if you take your time, you'll be fine. And well, hold on, that rhymes. But it is true. If you take your time, you can paint anything yourself, to be honest, and save yourself a nice chunk of change. If you watched the previous episode, you saw me paint the house, the exterior, with a brush, and that saved me, I don't know, at least $1,000. And then doing this in the interior myself here, save me probably another $1,000 at least. It all depends where you live, and the labor and all that stuff is more expensive in different places. But this is not hard work. It's just gotta take your time, look closely to what you're doing, and if you mess up, it's no big deal. Just fix it, go over it. Nowadays everyone is so afraid of making a mistake, so they don't really do anything. And I guess that's one way of not making mistakes, is if you don't do anything. But I'm telling you, I don't know who watches these videos, I don't know you guys, but a lot of this you can do yourself. I mean, I don't know you, but I have faith in you that you can do stuff like this, and it'll just save you a nice chunk of change. So don't be afraid to try different things. And hell, if you really screw up that bad, I guess at that point you can come and hire someone to come and paint after you or fix whatever you were doing. But don't be afraid to try it. You'd be surprised. I worked next to a lot of people actually that I helped out. That's just how I am. Well, I won't touch on that, but I have plans to help you guys in the future as well when my channel gets bigger and I can afford it. But I worked next to a lot of people who were afraid of making mistakes, and they have no confidence in they were doing because they told me they were not handy. And after I explained it to them and showed it to them and just put the tools in their hands, they did good. I mean, I'm not just saying that, but they actually did good. And just the happiness and how proud they were afterwards is just, that's why I love what I do. I do this whole business a little bit differently than your typical contractor. I just like helping people because I received help myself from people when I came into this country, We were dirt poor, and people took the opportunity to help us. So I got some jackets and pants and shoes and underwear and everything right when we came into the country. So my dad wasn't making any money, well, not any money, but barely anything, because he got a minimum wage job just trying to support us when we got into this country. So we definitely did not live in lavish lifestyles. So I appreciate hard work, and I appreciate labor, and if I can help somebody, I help them out. And the way I've been doing this for such a long time is I help people, and then somehow it just repays itself 2, 3, 4 times, fourfold, if that's even how, never mind. But I don't know, it's just karma, whatever you want to believe it, God, karma, whatever, nature, Mother Earth, however you want to look at it. That's the way I do it, and I've been nothing but blessed so far. So people help me, I help people, and it's just like a little circle that I do. So don't be afraid to try things. If, like I said, if you mess up really bad, somebody will come and fix it, but you'll be surprised what you're capable of doing if you really concentrate on whatever you're doing. If it's painting or putting down the floor, trimming out windows, putting kitchen cabinets up, you'll see me doing all of that, by the way, in future episodes. It's going to be a little bit more of me in these future episodes, working on the inside of the house. So once you see my ugly face from time to time, just please don't unsubscribe. So stay with me. Just close your eyes when you see my face. But so that's basically that. Right here you can see kind of I got the light going because it is getting dark. And I'll show you what time I left here on that day. But I gotta work when I feel good, since I get a lot of headaches and migraines. If I'm feeling good, I have to go to work and do something. I don't want to waste a day, because a migraine will lay me out, and it is so hard to work. I mean, I still do it sometimes, but it is not fun and it's not easy. So if I'm feeling good, I'm trying to do something, so I don't waste the day. That's just my attitude to things. So basically I did this with let's get to technicalities or technical. The roller I had was a 9-inch roller. The nap was smooth to semi-smooth, and it's a 3/8 nap that you put on that roller. You already know that it took 5 gallons at $31 a gallon, so that's what, $150 or so plus tax. The sheen of the paint is flat. I always paint with flat. I tried other sheens before, and the shinier you get with the sheen, like eggshell, satin, glossy, semi-gloss, whatever you go with, the more imperfections in drywall will show up. So just keep that in mind. The way the light bounces off things, the shinier it is, you're going to see more imperfections in whatever your drywall person did. So flat sheen is very good at hiding imperfections in drywall, and is very, very forgiving. So even if my drywall is good or not so good, I still use the flat sheen. That's just how I like to do things. And plus, to be honest, I don't like the shininess anyway. I don't care if it's on tongue and groove or walls or wherever it is, cabinets. I don't really care for the shiny look. And for even furniture, to be honest, I just like the matte, dull, kind of flat look to things. I don't know, my brain is weird. So that's just basically how this works. I'll show you here coming up actually how this thing looks kind of finished. I called it a day for that day because it was getting really dark. See, there's my reflection, so hopefully that doesn't scare you too much. And that's the closet there that I had storage above it, as you know, as I talked about. And see, it turned out great. You'll see the daytime shot here in a second. I'm just gonna show you here before I leave for the day how everything came out. So see, all the way down to the floor, the trim is gonna cover, you know, some of those things that you see, so it's not directly to the floor. And that's basically that. See, there's no shininess to it. I mean, I love how this turned out, and it's so simple. Just a good roller and a good nap. a 3/8 snap, like I said, that's made for smooth or semi-smooth surfaces, because that's the other thing, I do not like texture on my drywall. I do not like texture. I don't like the popcorn ceilings. I don't like any of that. Call me boring or whatever you want to call me, but I just like the smooth, flat finish on a wall. And if I do ceilings, same thing. But usually I try to do something on the ceiling, like tongue and groove, to make it, you know, a little bit nicer. And see, it's getting a little bit darker. I just thought this was a cool shot, so I kept it in the video because everything looks kind of blue. And here's what time I left for that day, so you just get an idea how long I worked. But like I said, I try not to waste a day. So 9:08 p.m. and this is the next day when we have some daylight. So all the holes for the receptacles are in the walls and everything is painted, and like I said, it turned out good. There's minor touch-ups that I have to do for, like, if there's little holes, and you know, when the guys did the tongue and groove, I noticed that they bumped the drywall a couple times with boards, so I gotta, you know, patch those little tiny holes and still touch it up with paint. But that's no big deal. It happens all the time. It doesn't matter how you tell them to be careful, they still do it. So I just put the DAP on. It's stuff you buy at Home Depot, DAP, and you just touch it up with that, and then touch up the paint, obviously, so you can't tell. So see, nice and good, no issues at all. I mean, if somebody did this for me, I'll be happy with if they did a job like this. And I am no professional painter at all. I do a little bit of everything, so I'm halfway decent through a lot of things. But I am definitely not an expert at one specific thing, so I just know how to dabble with a lot of things when it comes to construction. I guess just enough to be dangerous. And that's my pancake compressor. You'll see in the next episode what I have planned for the windows, because I'm going to trim those out with wood to match the whole cabin look. So there you go. For 150 bucks, you can paint the whole cabin yourself. Take your time, and as I said, you'll be fine. And thank you very much for watching. Here's the whiteboard, nice and short and sweet and quick. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.